Welcome to the Absolute Beginner's Guide to Photoshop for Photographers. Now let's see if this is you. You love taking pictures, you have a great camera, you've got lenses, filters, maybe even a carbon fiber tripod that the camera store salesman said you should buy. You go out every chance you get shooting your favorite subjects, but you hate processing, or maybe you're just intimidated by learning Photoshop. Well, this tutorial is for the person who hates processing or is just too intimidated by Photoshop, thinking it's too complicated. And it can be that way if you let it. I mean, if you just open it for the first time ever and just dive in, then yes, you'll find yourself in digital quicksand very quickly. And as you well know, Photoshop is one of the most, if not the most comprehensive, complicated, feature-rich software titles for the consumers on the market. No one, not even the inventors of Photoshop, John and Thomas Knoll, knows everything about Photoshop. It's just too big and complicated. Now, as for myself, your humble instructor, I've been using Photoshop on a daily basis since version 5.5, some 21 years now, and I learn things all the time. I can remember when I was first learning Photoshop, being so frustrated, not being able to do what I wanted, and doubly so about not being able to find an answer to my frustration when I got stuck in a process. Now, when I first started, there were precious few books and zero tutorials online about using Photoshop, so even I was confused at first, so I can only imagine how the beginner feels now, scratching his or her head with confusion. Now, I'm going to show you the 5 basic tools and functions for adjusting color and white balance, removing spots, cropping, preparing your image for print or display on the internet, adding text, and black and white conversions. Now, if you follow these lessons in sequence, which is very important, when you finish the course, I absolutely, positively guarantee that you'll be 80% proficient in most of what you need to know to process your digital files to whatever end use you wish, with the highest quality and with the least amount of frustration. Now, Photoshop is also used by graphic artists who design logos and business cards, wedding invitations, art-based signage, etc. Now, we'll not address these functions as the tools and workflows are different, but if you're the photographer who recognizes the need to learn processing, well, you've come to the right place. This tutorial is produced with the absolute beginner in mind. Now, I have empathy for those of you who get the feeling of trepidation in just opening it for the first time. And it is for these folks these lessons have been produced. Fear not. Follow me along as I take your hand and gently guide you step by step into this mysterious world of Photoshop. And for members of the Photoshop Tutorials for Beginners Facebook group, for a limited time only, I'm offering a $10 off coupon for a final price of only $29. That's a full $20 off the original price of almost $50. Now click on the link below and use the coupon code FB21 for a final price of only $29 for over 6 hours of instruction for the Photoshop beginner. That's 34 video lessons to get you started in Photoshop. That's photoeditingtutorials.com for the absolute beginner's guide to Photoshop for photographers.